Hello, this is Dr. Christy Patton-Lukes, a chemical engineering professor at Missouri S&T. We are looking at Chapter 12, but we're going to look at the portion of that out of Turton's textbook that is dealing with the separator section. And so in particular, what we want to do is make decisions about what separation techniques should be used. So what are the product specifications of our products? What techniques are going to be appropriate? So are they heat sensitive? Are there any hazards that I need to deal with, etc.? So there are a lot of guidelines that we use, and we generally use distillation as our first choice of separation for fluids when we need something pure for both products. So distillation is going to be our first choice. We're going to use gas absorption if we're just trying to remove one trace component. And we can use adsorption when we're trying to remove a trace impurity from gases or liquids. Pressure swing adsorption is useful when you're trying to purify gases, especially if you have a cryogenic boiling component in there. Membrane separations are useful for separating gases with cryogenic boiling points, or if they have low flow rates, membranes are useful. When the boiling points of our components are very near each other, or if the heat of vaporization is very high, distillation is not going to be a good choice. So we'll want an alternative because it's going to be very cost intensive to do the distillation. Extraction is a good choice if we have a liquid that we want to purify from another liquid and can separate into two liquid phases. Crystallization is useful when we're trying to separate two solids or purifying a solid out of a liquid solution that can be crystallized. Evaporation is a way of concentrating a solution of a solid in a liquid so that we have a higher composition yet still have that solution. Centrifugation is useful for concentrating solids in a slurry, eliminating a lot of that bulk liquid without the heat effects of evaporation. Filtration removes solids in an almost dry form from a slurry. Screening is useful when you have a mixture of solids and with different particle sizes, so you can use screening to do that. You can also float or sink solids that are of different densities so that you can get pure crystal particles. Reverse osmosis is useful for purifying a liquid from a solution of dissolved solids. And leaching is used to remove a solid from a solid mixture. Chromatography is often a final purification step for high-value products from very dilute streams. In general, what we want to do is remove the largest product stream first, because that's going to mean that all subsequent equipment is smaller. And when we're doing the distillation, we would like to remove the product with the largest heat of vaporization first, if you can at all, because again, that will reduce the amount of energy consumed by our process. This sounds really obvious, but it's not. Be sure that when you separate streams that you don't later end up recombining things that you went to a lot of effort to separate out. When you're selecting what process to do first in a multiple separation sequence, do the easy ones first. Try to get rid of a lot of material, but also do the easy things. Be sure that you're not wasting raw materials by separating them out into waste streams. And don't over-purify a stream. A lot of times students are very gung-ho that it's like, ooh, I need a 99% pure product. I can get this to 99.9%. Let's do that. Well, if your customer only wants 99% pure, don't do better than that. They're not going to pay you more for more than they wanted. When you have in your mixture hazardous or corrosive materials, if you remove them first, it means that you can have safer or less expensive equipment in the subsequent steps. And then, in general, because you're going to have more to deal with, use the least expensive, the cruder separation technique first so that you can have lower costs. So, for instance, they say liquid-liquid extraction would be done before chromatography. You can get the bulk with the extraction, and then chromatography to get the fine parts. So what we want to look at next is when we have sequences of distillation, and that will be our next video lesson. Thank you very much for your time.